Okay, so here is the Infinity C64 SD cartridge, which I received today from a guy in Italy. And what does it do? Well, it allows me to plug the cartridge into the tape port and also the disk drive port on the Commodore 64, and allows me to load PRG files and D64 and other files from an SD card that goes into the SD card slot. Also on the back it has a through port to plug the disk drive in, and also another through port to plug the tape deck in. It seems to have a power supply there. So it came with 2 lots of instructions. I think they're exactly the same, mainly in Italian. We'll go through those in a minute. Also received this little cable that comes with it that allows you to plug this little small end into the cartridge and the bigger end into the user port, I think it is, on the Commodore 64 for power, so that you can use it as a standalone unit. That's my understanding. And then you've got this little thing here which allows you to plug that into the tape port, and then allows you to plug the data set into that. So it's kind of like an adapter. Well, it is an adapter. So that all came bubble wrapped and also in this box, and then some other instructions. So let's go and plug that in and see how easy it is to use and see how it works. Okay, so here's my C64. I've unplugged my 1541 Ultimate 2 cartridge, and also the tape adapter and the disk drive connector. And here is the Infinity cartridge. So what I'm going to do now is plug this in. So here's it plugs into the tape port and also the disk drive port. I'm going to try and do this one-handed and film at the same time, but it is quite easy to plug in and it's very sturdy. So that's in. That's actually in. If we switch the C64 on, it powers straight from the C64. You've got the green light to say that there's power. There's a red light when it's busy, and there's also a clear light that is a read and write light. And so you just got the standard Commodore 64 startup screen. We're going to take an SD card, and I'm going to plug that standard SD card into my PC, and there we go, that comes up on the screen. So I'm going to open that folder. Let me just delete that file that's already on there, which we're going to go and get in a second. So if we go to the Commodore 64 scene database, and if I download the most recent file, which is this up in the air preview, I'm going to open that zip file, and in there is the .d64 file, which we're going to extract to the desktop. So that's extracted to the desktop. We go to the desktop, there it is at the top there, and I'm going to drag that onto the SD card. So that's now on the SD card. It's that simple. So I'm going to take the SD card out of my PC, and I'm going to slot it into the SD card slot of the Infinity cartridge. Okay, so to load the file from the SD card into the Commodore 64, what you would normally do is see what's on the floppy disk, because obviously it was a D64 file that we downloaded. Now if you do that normally, you get this. It tells you that there is a D64 file there, but we need to get that D64 file into the Commodore 64, as if you're putting a floppy disk into a floppy drive. Now I couldn't work out how to do this. I couldn't work out the command whatsoever to do this. So I looked at the instructions, and they're mainly in Italian. Some of it's in English, but I did eventually find out that there is something to help me. And so we've got the command in there already, the open 1815 CD, and then the name of the D64 disk, and then to close the command. And if we press enter, and again if we look at the directory, if I list that now, you should see the contents of that floppy disk, and then you just do the standard load, comma 8, comma 1, and that starts loading. And you'll see that the read write blue light is on, so that's reading, and that's loading, so that's loading that straight from the SD card. As I said, the instructions unfortunately are mainly in Italian, but you kind of work out what needs to be done. The files that you can use on this, so it lets you read PRG files, it's just standard kind of program files such as Commodore 64 games, P00 cartridge versions, D64 files, M2Is, which are multi-load games, D71s, double-sided 1571 disc images, and also D81, which is a 3.5 inch 1581 disc image. So the program's ready to run now. So if you run it, it's just decrunching. You can tell it's decrunching by the @ sign, and there you go. It's loaded. So that's a D64 file, and that's downloaded. Sorry, we downloaded that file straight from the internet, put that on the SD card, plugged the SD card in, and then we just run the file straight from the cartridge. So things I don't know what to do yet. I don't know how to change a disc. I'm not too sure how games load, how they save, but that shouldn't take me too long to work out. It's a really cool piece of kit because it allows you to load Commodore 64 files straight into a real Commodore 64, straight from downloaded it on the internet straight onto your SD card. So that's really cool. There's another piece of kit that's out there. It cost me, I think it was about £65. That was including delivery. I got it in about 5 days. It was ordered from Italy, used a PayPal account, I received it within about 5 days. It's a sturdy piece of kit. It looks sturdy. It sits really well in the C64. It loads disc games, it loads tape games, and it has a through port, so you can plug, if we look in the back there, you can plug your disc drive in, and you can plug your tape deck straight into it as well. And the other thing I'm going to test is if I can plug my 1541 Ultimate 2 cartridge straight into it, and also the tape adapter straight into it as well, to see if they work hand in hand, or if my Commodore 64 is going to blow up. So there you have it, a very quick review of the C64 SD Infinity version 2. Nice piece of kit.